BPI Sports has always been a massive supporter of natural bodybuilding, so it only made sense for us and them to partner up. This episode of the podcast is brought to you by BPI Sports, and if you want to support them and us, use code Natty News Daily at checkout for some exclusive discounts off any of your orders. Enjoy the episode.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Natty News Daily podcast. I'm here solo today. Dan and James couldn't make it on, unfortunately, but we're here with some special guests. We got WNBF Ireland on the other side here. They're doing us a favor and staying up to all hours of the night to get this podcast in. I know it's 11 o'clock p.m. for them over there, so thankfully they're willing to hop on with us. But enough of me chatting. You guys give it a little introduction, and then we'll just dive on in.
Yeah.
Hi everyone. So do you want to kick it off?
The name's Finnbar Murphy. I started off the WNBF there. Myself actually and Lill. We started the WNBF kind of wanting to promote natural bodybuilding here in Ireland. There's a lot of what would you call it?
Potential.
There's a lot of potential, yeah. There's a huge amount of potential in Ireland. We're just kind of bringing it out. We see it all the time, but there's not enough. Like we see it in
publicized really here, but like we see that there's so many people that are so interested in it and that have like a great like physiques and they're really like motivated and dedicated to it. But I think that it's very overshadowed here. There's not much publicity. So like when we saw the opportunity to kind of jump in, we said yeah, definitely, and get it out there and get a lot of the people who want to get to the pro stage and have that pathway there, and we have the opportunity to give them that.
That's awesome. So let's go back a little bit to both your guys' history within, I guess let's go with natural bodybuilding as a whole, and then maybe how long you've been with the WNBF.
So just kind of background for training and stuff, is it? When I started it, so I suppose I was always kind of lifting weights for as long as I can remember. My brother, when I was about 14 or 15, kind of showed me how to isolate muscles and kind of have a bodybuilding routine and stuff like that. But I was always kind of having boxing in the mix as well. Okay. And I did my first show when I was 17.
Oh wow.
And I was kind of coaxed into doing this, and I did well anyway. And then it was like I went back when I was 20, and the guys that I was competing against when I was 17, they were like in a different category. They were huge. Like, I was like, "What's going on here?" And some fella told me, he was like, "Hey, look," he said this. Well, I knew it when I was 17, but another guy was saying, "Is look, just focus on the boxing, this is all, And I was like, right, but I loved bodybuilding, so I just continued with it and continued with boxing. Had a lot of injuries and had no other choice but just to focus on the boxing, and I was actually really happy with that. And then I seen a natural bodybuilding show come up, and I competed in that, and I didn't do well. But someone pulled me aside and said, that I should have, done really well in the competition. He brought me to the Worlds, and I did well in the Worlds, and did a few World shows, and quickly, I did well with the shows anyway, and the WNBF then was the kind of thing that I was always looking at, because the shows, I was doing a natural bodybuilding show, but they weren't really doing the tests that they should, and I knew that the WNBF does that, and I knew that crowd in Ireland were affiliated with them, and I went back to that crowd, and we went straight to the Worlds, and then I was delighted because WNBF is, if you're into natural bodybuilding, that's the kind of most common one, and that's the most stringent tested competition. And obviously if there's an opportunity here, if it's us going to do it, we might as well, because if it's not us, it's going to be someone else. Sure. If we fail with the WNBF, someone else is going to do it, because this WNBF is a big name, like a big reputation. So we said we'll jump on board, so yeah. And Lil, my wife, she's been a huge support of the sport, and she's a really good keen eye for the sport of bodybuilding. Like she can pick
I
up.
don't actually bodybuild. I don't actually have
Okay.
any. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I'm kind of just on the sidelines, and I'm just the admin.
Check from the background. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm the one just kind of cheering him on, you know. So that's what I've always been really. But I really like seeing it, and I think that it's really nice because, like, when you go in, when we went to different competitions, because obviously I was always with his from the start, basically. I've been with Finnbar. He was always going to different competitions, and like when we went to the WNBF, it was just a complete different ball game. The standard was really good, but also the atmosphere was just so great. And like I just think it's like you see how many people are so dedicated and motivated, but also they're supporting each other, which is really nice. And like across all the different countries that were there, always, even when I was in the crowd just cheering Finnbar on, like they were just so, it was just a completely different atmosphere, and it was just really nice to be there. And when Finnbar said, "Do you want to do it with me?" I was like, yeah, definitely, you know. And we've made a lot of friends through it as well, which is really nice. And it's just really nice to be able to bring that to Ireland here. And I think that a lot of young people, and we're getting a lot of old people who are like, you know, really prominent as well in bodybuilding in Ireland, they're really interested in and so excited the fact that there is this pathway to the world, which I think is great. Like it's great for that we can do that for them, you know.
Is there much else in Ireland for like bodybuilding federations, or are you guys kind of the premier?
There's like one other kind of prominent natural bodybuilding competition, but yeah, so we'd be kind of like the second kind of natural one that's kind of going on, really, isn't it?
Yeah, the previous were affiliated with the WNBF, and you know, then there was like gap then to get on board with WNBF, so we decided to go for it, like, you know.
Yeah, so there's only two really, so we're the only one kind of, yeah.
Sweet. That's the one thing you mentioned, like the community, I guess you could say. That's the one thing that really drew me when I kind of first stepped into the WNBF ranks, is like everybody's so supportive and kind, and you know, just, you know, from promoters, judges, athletes, it's just a very welcoming atmosphere. And I think that that's something that it sounds like across the board, it's the WNBF as a whole seems to do a really good job at that. And I think that speaks to the people that get involved with it, right? Like you can tell you guys are very passionate about it, and you just want to see the sport grow and the natural side of the sport continue to grow and provide that pathway for Irish athletes, right? So, you know, obviously you guys have a deep love for the sport, and then that just translates into the whole atmosphere.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Lil's very she's an artist, like, you know, she did fine arts and Crawford, she's qualified and everything, like, so she has the artist eye, like she can see things that I can't see, you know, like, so she's really good at you know, she's spotting things that, you know, that like she'd be a fantastic judge 100%. And you know, I suppose bodybuilding is an art at the end of the day, like, you know, so that's what kind of,
yeah, I think that's why I kind of have the interest in it. Like when I met him at first, I wouldn't have really been into the gym or into kind of, I wouldn't have even known about it. Do you know what I mean? It was completely different how I would have seen, like, so I seen it even, you know, but when he kind of brought me into it, then I just love watching the shows and talking to the people, you know, and hearing all how they got to where they are. It's like so much dedication goes into it. You don't realize, like,
yeah,
dynamic between the two of you, right? Because you have, you know, yourself that's, you know, coming from the outside, and then you're so into the bodybuilding as a competitor and stuff, right? So you're getting a very cool dynamic between the two of you to run it, which is kind of neat.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, she'd be much better at the business side.
The organizing.
I suppose the work I'm doing at the moment is so stressful that,
he doesn't have much. Yeah,
I don't have too much time.
Yeah.
But I put in as much as I can, like, you know. But but like she has the brains for it, you know. I just
How long have you guys been promoting then?
So since last July, I think, was it?
Yeah.
Last July, it kind of was, we started kind of promoting it and stuff. So we didn't get to have a competition last year because of COVID and everything here. The restrictions were so strong. So like we just said, look, we'll leave it off for the year. And we did actually get a few people who went over to the Worlds last year. And they were allowed to kind of just go directly, through us, which was great. But some of them got caught going over as well because they couldn't compete because of COVID. So it was, it was kind of, it's just horrible. Yeah. So
I was
we're really excited.
Like all that. I mean, praying that it's far behind us, but it's insane all over the world how many nations were affected, right?
We're affected.
Here in Canada, it's been a total nightmare, and we won't get into that because that's
let's leave it behind us.
Yeah.
So do you guys have an event for this July then, or what's the 2022 season?
So it's September 18th. We have our first show. So we're really excited about that. We're getting a lot of people coming over from like America, Turkey. So there's a lot of people that are actually coming over from America because maybe like their grandparents were from a certain place, so they're coming over to compete. They've always wanted to come, and it's WNBF, so it's a great opportunity for them. And then they're going to go to, see their heritage as well, which is quite nice.
Yeah.
So pump up the event a little bit. What's the deal with location and all that kind of stuff if people want to start looking into it?
Yeah.
So it's in County Wexford is where it is in Ireland, the southeast, and it's in a theatre called St. Michael's Theatre. It's a nice little area as well because it's kind of, there's lots of shops and different things around, so it won't be like, it'll be easy accessible for everybody as well. And there's lots of sites to see, so it's quite nice. I think it'll be really nice for people if they want to travel. It'll be easy access for people in Ireland, but also internationally. It's going to kind of a great, like the southeast is known as the sunny southeast in Ireland. So hopefully, for fingers crossed, it won't be raining when people come and they can actually go see some sites as well.
Kind of a bit of a, what's the word? Like I when you think Ireland, you think rain.
Like less likely maybe where we are because it's sunny southeast. That's what we say. Today not so much though. It's been raining this weekend. But in most cases it's actually really nice here. And I'm going to hopefully all the competitors that are coming over, I'm going to send them a list of little sites they can see as well. Because I think it'll be nice to make time of it as well. If everyone is coming over. But yeah, it's going to be really good. Everybody in the area is really excited as well because it's a little town, so they're really excited that because it's new, it's a bodybuilding competition, they've never had one before. They're all really buzzing about it and really excited, and people who don't even know about bodybuilding, have no interest, they're really getting involved and looking forward to it, which is nice as well.
There's a good tug of war and kind of strongman community around here actually. So it might bring some people to it.
Strongman's pretty big over there, isn't it?
Sorry, it is.
Strongman,
especially down where we are.
Yeah, down where you're here, there's competition every
year.
I'm not sure what is it European. Down by Hook Playhouse, there's a strongman competition every year, and then we have a tug of war team down here as well who've basically won the worlds loads of times, and they do a lot of power, kind of bodybuilding, I suppose, and workouts as well. So they're kind of into that, and they're looking forward to seeing the show as well. So we'll have a dynamic, such a different dynamic amount of people there, from people that aren't really interested in it, that are just learning about it, and to come see it, and also people are kind of doing, I suppose, the weight training in different ways, which is nice.
Yeah, I'm just processing that there's a tug of war worlds. I can't believe that's actually a Get some pretty impressive athletes if they have like a strongman background too. I would bet.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So what's kind of your projections for, obviously this is running your first show, like how's like registration looking and stuff?
Yeah, we're getting a lot of interest and a lot of people are signing up, which is great. And I
the
think
first show will be small.
Yeah, I think the first show is going to be small, obviously, and hopefully like a lot of people have come and said that there was a competition last year, not obviously with us, but with the other Natural Bodybuilding Federation, and basically they were saying that they're going to bow out this year, but be definitely competing with us next year. So next year is looking like really, really strong competition, but this year is looking good as well. You know, we're really excited about that.
You want to run September? Like, do you think that'll be a continued time frame, or is there a different time?
Yeah, we're kind of thinking September because there's the Worlds in November, but also the other competition that is in Ireland is around the same time, and it's good for people who are prepping that they can kind of stay in the same condition. They're not like, you know, going to one and having to prep for another, so they can hit the two competitions, which we think is great as well, you know. So it gives them the opportunity to kind of go with both if we need to, you know.
That's really nice that you're not like souring on other federations and stuff like that, right? Like, you hear about people wanting to run the same venue or like try to clash, right? Like when I just finished up my season in April and I did 4 different federations because like you guys said, the timeline, if they're close and you can hit multiple shows and stay in condition versus trying to peak and come out.
Why not?
Why not? So you know, kudos to you guys. I think for those watching, that speaks again to your guys' character and just love for the sport. Obviously, you know, you support the WNBF, but just for natural bodybuilding as a whole, to give athletes the opportunity to maybe hit multiple shows in a good time frame, you know, that's very good of you to do.
100%. Like, I think, like, even just talking with people when we were kind of, you know, advertising at first, that was one thing that we needed to basically you know, consider, that we need to make sure that they were able to kind of hit the 2 shows, you know. But we definitely thought it would be a good one to do, like, and definitely I think it's going to be good to have it in September going forward as well.
Yeah, it's perfect time.
So for the next,
the little baby's after crying, so I'm going to have to bow out, I think.
All right.
My stress level is through the roof now.
Meet you.
Nice to meet you, sorry.
She'll probably pop off if she can anyway. Sometimes she kind of goes back to sleep, like, you know.
All right, that's all.
She's not getting we're not getting the full night sleeps still, but she's good. She's quiet anyway. She's a quiet baby.
I wanna. I guess we kind of talked about the whole show and stuff like that. I wanna pick your brain a little bit from an athlete standpoint. Tell us a bit about your training. Like, you're obviously a very accomplished athlete. For those that maybe don't know, give some background on your skills in the sport.
I suppose it's kind of like I love the whole discipline of it, like, you know, and kind of is like as the Dwayne Johnson would say, it's kind of like the anchor in your life, like, you know. It's a proper anchor, and like, even for yourself there, like, congratulations, I see as you won the pro card and you did multiple shows and stuff like that, and that kind of thing, like, you know, you go through all that and you kind of realize how life is actually really easy, because when you're going through that, it's tough, it's really tough, but it just gets it's just really good for the mind, like. And you know, with training, I was always obsessed with, like, you know, numbers and progression and stuff like that, like, and over time as I get older and you know, training age and stuff like that, I kind of realized that. So I'm 31, I'll be 32 in September now, so, you know, the training age is kind of getting up, and like, I think it's back in 2018 I found that, like, right, that was kind of it. I'm not really progressing much more, you know what I mean? If I could still progress on a lift, but another lift has to sacrifice, if you get me. So the obsession with numbers is great, but like, after a while, it's just, when it's not going too well, it kind of messes your head. But at the end of the day, training is just about for your head, like, you know. That's what it's all about, like, it's to keep you anchored in life, and, you know, have you something to get you up in the morning, like, you know. You know, that's what I'm at the moment, and just trying to maintain and stay healthy and injury free, and put in the intensity when I can and back off when I can, and just train smart. But I do a mixture of bodybuilding and kind of powerlifting training as well. So my training sessions can be like, what's that? You're the same, yeah. Like, so my training session could be like anywhere like 2 hours, like, you know, my sessions, like, so. But like, you know, I think, oh, that's too much, but there's a lot of warm up there, like, and when it's powerlifting kind of style training, like, there's long breaks and stuff like that. So it's not taxing, like, you know. If it was really taxing, you'd know, because I remember back in the past when I was overtraining and stuff like that, you get sick often and all that kind of stuff. But like when you're not getting sick often and you're getting good night's sleep and you're making little progressions and stuff like that, you're going in the right direction. Like, so, but yeah, I'm gonna do 4 days a week. I'm back jogging as well. Just once a week, yeah, for a half an hour. I couldn't run for a good couple of months because my IT band used to kind of flare up. But I'm delighted now I can go back just doing a light jog, maybe 30 minutes once a week and four training sessions a week, and yeah, and obviously the full-time job as well. So
What do you do full time?
I'm a manager for a sales team, so the sales team that I train like will be they work on commission, so like they actually only get paid for selling. They don't get a base wage and stuff like that, so that can be extremely difficult because you have to train them, you have to coach them, you have to bring them to areas, you have to train out to sell techniques, blah blah blah. The last kind of job I thought I'd ever do, because I did food sciences, as my career, but I never ended up doing that. But I enjoy it because it's actually really challenging, and we get good rewards and stuff like that. So, but yeah, it can be it's a tough job, very tough job. So.
Training a little bit. Have you always done like a 4-day a week, or how has your training evolved over the years?
No, like I suppose before I used to all different types of training sessions, like training. I could have done three days. 3 days a week is actually really beneficial because you get much more recovery and it's better and stuff like that. But that's not good for my head. Like I need at least 4 days, But I could have, in the past I would have done 5 days a week, 6 days a week, anything, But as you get smarter and you get stronger and stuff, like your body takes longer to recover, and the stronger you are, the harder it is for your body to recover and stuff like that. So like less training is better, but it's not better for my mind. So I need to get my 4 training sessions in, and that's kind of.
What's the 4 days a week look like right now? How is that split up?
My 4 days a week at the moment would be it's a mad mix. Like it really is a mad mix, but it works. Like today, now I would have done hamstrings. I would have done what did I do? Hamstrings. I did lats, the rows, like, and rear delts, and there was a lot of deadlifts. There was a lot of deadlifts as well, and RDLs, and yeah, it was a volume day kind of in terms of the deadlifts. I was doing a lot of deficit deadlift, block deadlift. I was just like I do a block deadlift, and then I did a deficit, and then I did a normal, and then I did a block, and then I did a deficit, and a normal, and I did I did a what. Yeah, I did an all-out set then on the RDLs and full resets, and I did rear delts and rows, and but yeah, the workout I'm doing at the moment is kind of a mad mix. Like I've been doing for the past year, I've been doing or more. I've been doing press, like push, bench, like 3 to 4 days a week. Not high intensity, low intensity, high frequency, high volume kind of thing. And but I kind of taking a step back from that, a small, but now I'm kind of focusing on just reducing the volume and increasing the intensity a bit, like so it's in the past I would be a huge advocate of the HIIT training, like all out, one set, all out for everything, one set.
That's where I'm starting to evolve out of a little bit. I turned 28 this year, and it's I don't feel old, but I can feel the training age, like you mentioned earlier, starting to catch a little bit.
Yeah,
you kind of just those little aches and pains.
Yeah,
on the deadlift, and I'm still like kind of running with that high intensity
Yeah.
but I can tell that that's starting to get some shelf life to it.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, because I was doing it for so long. It's really good. It's really effective, and I was getting to the stage where you're tracking your logbook, tracking your training and stuff like that. And you find the perfect formula to get past that plateau, and then you find another formula to pass that plateau, and then that formula doesn't work anymore, and then you finally find a good formula to get past that plateau. But when you're getting to a stage where you're getting so high that something just snaps, and you're just peaking your strength, and then when you peak, you have a what's it called, a regression phase that lasts for so long. Then you have peak back up, and then you get to the top peak again, and regression, and this peak and regression, and this it's just pain.
Have you ever competed in powerlifting?
No, never did. No, never did. No. Sorry.
Any desire to with like this?
I did have a desire kind of to do something, but kind of lost that desire because this bodybuilding now. My kind of goal is the reason why it kind of there's an interest in powerlifting is because when you're bodybuilding, you want to get kind of stronger to improve. Like, it's the only way you're going to get better. Yeah. Naturally, is get stronger. Like, and it comes to a stage there where you're focusing too much on it, and as I said, something will just give. Something will give, or you get to that peak phase of strength, and you just get a regression, and you mentally be thinking, I'm actually weaker and weaker. But it's months down the line that you get back up to that peak again, and you might get a tiny bit better, or you might get the same, and you're just like regression phase again. And but like bodybuilding is good because you can isolate muscles and change things drastically, and not focus too much on that specific lift, because you can always looking at that, what you did in the past, what you did in your deadlift at your best, what you did in your squat at your best, what you did at your bench at your best. And it's like, it's not always going to be, you're not always going to be at that peak strength, and it kind of messes with your head. So it's better to kind of change things and do something that, first of all, when you start a new exercise, like your central nervous system is just getting used to that specific movement, and you're getting strength progressions, and you think you're actually getting better, but you're just getting better, more efficient at that lift.
You're getting better at the movement.
You're getting better at the move, but there's a nice feeling to that. Even though I'm thinking like, right, I'm not like mentally, I'm kind of thinking, oh, I am improving, but I'm not really. But it's a nice feeling to think you're improving.
Yeah. So what's your goals within the sport? Like after you're 31 or turning 31, 32?
Yeah, turning 32. Yeah.
So what's your future within bodybuilding? What are you hoping to do?
Longevity, I suppose. I want to be able to. I kind of like, similar to not saying I want to be him or anything like that, but like, have a longevity, like Dexter Jackson, be able to come back each year and compete, or or even do every second year or whatever like that, and keep competing late into my 40s and 50s. You know what I mean? I'd love that. Just to keep me ticking over and keep me occupied, make the most of it, and I'm fairly, like, I was going through a few stints of injuries and stuff like that, but at the moment I'm fairly there's nothing wrong with me at the moment. I feel good, except I have a weird thing going on with tobacco, right? But other than that, I feel good. Like, I don't have any injuries or strains, and I'm able to train every day. Yeah, so that's my goal, is just to keep that going and progress as best I can up to when I'm 40. Because when you get to 40, after 43, 45, you're kind of there's all downhill, like, you know what I mean? So just make the most of it from now to the end, and then when I get to that stage, keep going and try to keep everything, but yeah, that's the kind of, I've no plans like other than that, kind of, really. Like,
is there any like titles that you have left that you're still chasing down that you've really
so like when I won the amateur worlds and then I got the pro card, I was happy with that because I achieved it very early compared to what I thought I would, and I was quite happy with that. And then I did my pro debut when I was on our honeymoon, and I only did it to keep. I only did it because it was like I had the pro card for like 2 years. And I was like, I have to do something, and I went in for the show, and I competed in the heavyweights, and I wasn't in shape, like, you know. But I just did it, you know, just to show face. Like, I was like, why not? Like, just to show face. Take it. I said, don't you taking any pictures? Don't take pictures and put me up or like that. You know, I came dead last, like, but that's perfectly fine. I knew that. I was expecting that, of course. But I'd like to, you know, get in the top 5 anyway in the pros and progress from there, like, you know what I mean. And when I do well and get in the top 3s and stuff like that, I hope to continue that. Not just, say for example, if I ever won a worlds in the pro levels, I wouldn't just like to win one. I'd like to get another one. Do you know what I mean? So I don't want to just, because that's what happened when I won the worlds with the amateurs, get complacent. It's kind of like, yeah, I achieved that. Like, you know, I still trained really hard, always the same, but I never had in my head to say, right, I didn't have that goal to, you know, one day I just kind of got lackadaisy, like, you know what I mean? So that's what I want. If I do win, keep going.
Yeah, I felt that after like winning my pro card. It was this brief.
Yeah.
Definitely the last few weeks has just been like, where do I want to go now?
Yeah.
Like up until, you know, winning my pro card, like that was my biggest goal, was to get my WNBF pro card. And, you know, kind of in the back of my head was like, if I can do it before 30, that would be pretty cool. And then it happened, and then it's like, oh, well, now what do I do? You know what I mean? Like, what's next? I didn't think past this.
Yeah.
So I can kind of I can understand what you're saying for sure. You get a little bit of complacency, right? And but there's more to do, right? There's more.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Don't make the same mistake anyway. Just get back into it if you can. Like, not straight away. Like, you obviously have your bit of rest and recovery and everything like that. Like, but definitely, like, don't do what I do after the second year. Kind of go into the pro debut, just show your face, like, and just, you know, do your best. You know. But to be honest, I mentally I couldn't have done it anyway. Mentally, I couldn't have gotten shape for that show because, even nowadays, like, I find it like hard to. I see people online they might lose a lot of weight and stuff like that, and just looking at them like, just how did I do that in the past? Do you know what I mean?
I'm this prep was like, for me, was very intense, right? And
man.
The goals that I had, it needed to be intense. It needed to go farther than I'd had previously, and I'm definitely ready for this off season, like, just to mentally refresh myself, refresh my body, and then, you know, look in a couple months' time. Okay, what's the next goal? Like, where are we going from here? But I need that kind of just clarity, right?
Oh yeah, definitely, 100%.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, I appreciate you guys for coming on. For those that maybe want to get more information about the show, where would they go for that?
So they can go to www.WNBFIreland.ie, and we have our WNBF Ireland Instagram page. And if they have any questions or anything like that, they can DM us directly. We'll answer them. More than happy to do that.
And if they want to reach out to one of you personally,
so yeah, they can go to they can email us at WNBFIreland@gmail.com, or DM us on Instagram, and they'll catch us either of us both directly. Yeah.
Perfect. Well, again, thank you guys for coming on. I really appreciate you staying up till all hours of the night for make that.
As I said, I had a good nap. Before I started. Yeah. So I had a good sleep.
If you guys enjoyed this episode, please let us know. And again, if you have any questions for these guys about WNBF Ireland, you guys know where to reach them. And if you guys enjoyed the episode, give it a like, subscribe for future ones, and we'll see you guys in the next one.